right, Shabbat Shalom, Bruchim Habayim, everybody here tonight on a very special occasion. We are for the first time back in the sanctuary in quite a while, so might have been caused by the weather and the smoke that's being blown over, so this is a new experience. And we also greet all of those who are tuned in from home today or from wherever you're watching us, Shabbat Shalom as well. We're having a special double simcha on this Shabbat. Kate and Michael and Maya Rogers are going to be coming bar and bat mitzvah this Shabbat, so we're very excited to be here with them and to celebrate. And as we are here coming together on this special occasion, we actually wanted to start off with the Shechianu, our prayer, thanking God who kept us alive, who maintained us, and made us reach this joyous occasion. And we want to follow along with this on page 344 of your Sidurim. It's the second one on the top.
You can't tell, but I am actually smiling behind this mask because it is just a joy to see everybody here this evening, and I invite you to join with us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Continue with an opening song, this nigun, a song without words. It just has sort of nonsense syllables like I, die, die, or yaba, bim, bam, and so you don't need to look in the book, and you'll pick it up very quickly. It's a pretty easy melody, and it's a nigun yedid nefesh. Join with us. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
And to symbolically kick off Shabbat and welcome in the Shabbat bride, we are turning to the lighting of the candles. And for that, we'd like to invite the mothers of our B'nai Mitzvah, Yvette Michael and Rachel Rogers, join us at the front. We're on page 3, and the blessings on page 2.
So may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Amen.
All right, Yashakar, thank you.
Yashikara. Now we continue as we lower our volume a little, and we continue with Lecha Dodi on pages 20 and 21, and we'll be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the ninth verse, we'll rise and we'll face the entranceway to our beautiful sanctuary as we welcome the Sabbath bride. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmiyanu el miyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'le'lila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'mor habracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hit'oreri, Ki va'orech tobi ori, Ori shedaveri, Kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. We rise. Boni v'shalom ateret ba'ala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, Toch emunei am segula, Boni kala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Please have a seat.
We continue as we welcome the angels of peace with Shalom Aleichem on page 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlaim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlaim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We are to rise for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship on page 28. Of course, please rise as you are able.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
On page 30, Ma'arivavim, together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhma poteach she'arim, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליב את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
And on the next page, Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amechavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochbeinu v'komeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratcha, v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki ein chayenu ve'orech yameinu, u'ahem negeh yomam halayla, ve'avatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malachuto Leolam Va'ed.
All right, everybody have a seat. Everybody is except for our two B'nai Mitzvah. who are going to join us up front for chanting the Bia Hafta on page 36.
Join with them.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים ללכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Shakoach, nicely done. Please have a seat. You're on page 38 on the top, and we follow on to page 40 right after that from Michamocha. Together, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מהלכותיך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. היי יבבה מימימה, יבבה מימימה, יבבה מימימה, יבבה מימימה, לי 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 יבבה מימימה, לי 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 יבבה מימימה. ונאמר כי פד אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Together on the bottom of page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter, into the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Baruch atah Adonai Haporei Sukkot Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Haporei Sukkot Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol olamo, ve'al Yerushalayim Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Haporei Sukkot Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
Continue right on, page 44 of Mitzvah Shambu. People of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
About to turn to the Amidah, which begins on page 46. Amidah means to stand in prayer, so as you're able, please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach Ofia giteilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, U'mevi geula livnei bneihem, Leman shemo be'ahava. Melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen, Baruch Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atara lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekaye emunato lishenei avar, Nichamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech menit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah le'achayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
Please have a seat. And on page 55 on the top, together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 56. Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayers and love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. Let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shchinato leTzion. As we turn to Modim on page 58, which is our prayer for Thanksgiving, take a moment and think about something that you are grateful for, something wonderful that happened during the last week, something that you enjoyed, that really spoke to you and that you're happy about. And for those folks at home, if you want to free, type it into the chat box. And in a moment, we're going to go around the room. If you share briefly, like in a word or two, what you are grateful for from this week. Maybe to kick us off, we had a lovely staff retreat day at Long Lake, and actually got to kayak for the very first time, and actually got to ride a jet ski for the very first time and stuff, which was a really wonderful experience. Also getting a chance.
Too. He's good at it.
Well, thank you. And getting to bond with the staff, which is a really wonderful opportunity. So,
For me, this is funny, but I started practicing and rehearsing my high holiday music because it's right around the corner. And so that was a thankful thing, actually, because it took me away and helped me to focus.
yeah. All right. Anybody wants to share? Yes, please.
For good, caring friends.
Good caring friends, wonderful. I'm just going to repeat so folks, make sure that folks can hear it also abroad. Yes? Somebody else? Yes. And the grateful for, sorry? For us all, wonderful, thank you. Yes, I saw a hand up your front, yes. Mm-hmm. Fabulous husband, wonderful, good for you, there you go. All right, yes. Grateful to Cantor, and we always helped you very much on your Bat Mitzvah journey, that's wonderful. Great. Somebody else? Our kids, yes. Proud mom, there you go. Wonderful. What else?
For being able to see my family that I haven't seen in over 2 years.
Oh, wow. To see family again after almost 2 years. That's wonderful. Good to have you. All right. Yes. Seeing the sanctuary from the inside again, yep.
As a new member, this
There
is
you
the
go.
first. This is a first.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Love Shechianis here. Oh, more hands, yes. Family and friends being here and celebrate together. That's wonderful, great. All right, homework for next week. Go out there and make some wonderful things happen, then come back and share them with us. So
Exactly.
there you go. And on the bottom of page 58, the Chatima, the closing blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulechana lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, you're worthy of thanksgiving.
And we conclude the tefillah, these little prayers that all go together with the prayer for peace on page 60, Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim
ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Take a moment of silence now for the prayers of our heart. We're going to be coming back on page 62 afterwards.
Shalom, shalom imromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imro amen. Ose shalom imromav, shalom aleinu.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. I'm challenging you tonight to plant a $1,000 seed. Now you might say, well, I don't have that cash. Well, put it on a credit card. That's what I told that woman the other day. And now watch what God does. A $1,000 gift. You say, that's a lot. I know, it was a lot for her too. But look what God has done with it as a result of her obedience. Since then, God has given her a new home, increased her finances. Her son got a scholarship as one of the outstanding students of his high school. He has blessed her. She was telling me in an email how thrilled she was. She sowed a seed to the Lord. He's speaking a lot to people, and we're speaking tonight here to sow $1,000. You can do it by check, by credit card, debit card, however you feel it. I haven't planned on doing this, but the Lord has put it in my heart to challenge others tonight to do what she did, to sow those $1,000. Once again, let me tell you, I'm not trying to get anything from you. I'm trying to give you something, God's power, God's miracles to you. And see. Just to make sure, everybody's on the page here. If you've ever zapped through the channels on your TV remote late at night, chances are you might have ended up by accident in a televangelist sales show just like that. Like so many others of his ilk, televangelist Richard Roberts, from whose show The Place for Miracles I just quoted, was preaching the gospel of prosperity. Believe when you sow a seed to donate a significant sum of money, good things will come back to you. Sounds a bit like karma, right? Put out good vibes into the universe, and the universe will pay you back. Unfortunately, what is being paid for are mainly the extravagant wishes of the televangelists themselves. This seems to be a common theme. Like several others of his kind, just a few years ago, there was a headline, televangelist Jesse Duplantis asked his followers for donations to buy a $54 million private jet. Just as an aside, his church near New Orleans, Louisiana, reaches out worldwide. More than 750,000 people watch his sermons online and follow his ministry on Facebook. The punchline is, though, Duplantis already has 3 private jets, but he needed this new one to spread the gospel worldwide without having to make layovers in between. Just in case you might think he's making stuff up, he got the message from God himself to buy the new Falcon 7X jet. If Jesus was physically on this earth today, he wouldn't ride on a donkey. He would be on an airplane spreading the gospel worldwide. End of quote. So, why did I bother to take you into the illustrious world of televangelism tonight? To show how easy it is for leaders, religious or worldly, to manipulate the message and mission of the institutions they represent. In this week's Torah portion, Shoftim, literally judges, we learn a lot about the requirements put out on the Israelite leaders, be they prophets, judges, priests, or even the king. While we often think of a king as having pretty much unlimited power, in the words of Mel Brooks, it's good to be the king, he had a number of positive commandments to live up to, as well as a variety of restrictions. Among them, moreover, he, the king, shall not keep many horses or send people back to Egypt to add to his horses. Since Adonai has warned you, you must not go back that way again. And he shall not have many wives, lest his heart go astray. Sounds all nice and good, but as we move from the Torah to the book of Kings, we learn that King David's son, Solomon, did not quite follow the letter of this law. Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for the chariot and 12,000 horsemen. He had 700 royal wives and 300 concubines. So King Solomon, otherwise known for his great wisdom, seems to have shown quite some poor judgment here. And guess what? We're not the first ones to note this, that Solomon seems to bend the Torah's rules a little bit that are set for the kings. Already in the Talmud, the rabbis discuss that Solomon's spousal math was a little bit off. And he shall not have many wives, only 18. For we find that David had 6 wives, and it was announced to him by Nathan the prophet, "Thus says Adonai, I give your master's wives into his bosom, and if that had been too little, I will add unto him twice as many." So 6 times. In the same discussion, the Talmud quotes Rabbi Yitzchak, who wonders how come King Solomon might have sought to justify, behaving so contrary to the Torah's instructions. Rabbi Yitzchak said, what were the reasons for the mitzvot in the Torah not revealed? Because in 2 passages where the Bible revealed reasons, the greatest intellect in the world, Solomon, stumbled over fulfilling those. He shall not have many wives, it is written. And he reasoned, I can have many and not go astray. As a result, it is written, and it came to pass, as he reached his advanced age, his wives turned away his heart. The same goes for the horses. He shall not have many horses. Solomon reasoned, I can have many and not send people back to Egypt, so I'm still following, the letter of the law. But the text says, Solomon's horses were procured from Egypt and Kue, Tarsus and southern Turkey. The king's dealers would buy them from Egypt at a fixed price. A chariot imported from Egypt cost 700 shekels of silver. Well, getting fancy rides to go places seems to have been a common theme here between ancient Israelite kings and the televangelists of this day. But Rabbi Yitzchak's point ultimately is to show how easy it is for us to rationalize our flawed behavior, how to bend the rules to our liking, even goes clearly against the spirit of the commandment. He also points out the tension that there is between our modern minds to find reasons, rationales for doing the mitzvot, and the necessity to still fulfill them, if there's a rationale given or not. And all this leaves us with a great responsibility, where we are all part of the ongoing development and application of our sacred texts to the changing challenges and circumstances of our day. May we be carefully and also be aware of our true motivations that guide us and our leaders. Are they to further the mission of our tradition, or are they fulfilling ultimately self-centered motives? Which is not to say, of course, you shouldn't buy your rabbi a private jet yet, If you can afford it and really, really want to. Who likes to have layovers anyway? Shabbat shalom. Before we move on, I'd like to invite up Maddie Pimentel-Diaz, who come up front for this. And she's looking a little bit different today, and it's Aaron, our president, Aaron Peterson, who will be.
So I will do my best to pretend that I'm Maddie Pimentel-Diaz, but nobody can be Maddie Pimentel-Diaz if you know her. She was not able to make it tonight, so I will quickly offer the announcements. First of all, Shabbat Shalom, welcome. For some of you who have not been in the sanctuary before, welcome. It has been since I think late May that we were in here for a bar mitzvah, but it is nice to be back in here and see all the faces, and congratulations, you two. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, as you know. But again, thank you also to those who are joining us for the first time. Hopefully it sounds good. Again, if there's volume issues, we're working on a brand new system that we weren't quite ready yet, but we had to kind of push forward and use it tonight. So we'll make it work. But again, let me just look at my notes here. So to make this possible, though, we had the people that checked you in. We had the people back there who kind of set up the equipment. If we were outside, we would have people who need to set up chairs. We'd have people that have to set up the AV equipment. And we need more of those people. We're relying kind of heavily on a few people. So if you're interested in helping at all with that, please contact me, Aaron Peterson, or Jordan Harris to continue doing that. But again, I just thank those who did help out tonight, Val Carlin, and let's see, who else was out there? Randy Leeson, and Larry Schusel was also out there helping. So thank you to them very much. And manning the soundboard and testing the new equipment back there. And making sure it sounds good, and we'll keep working on it. Of course, is Benjamin and Bob Garden back there, so thanks to them. And part of putting that together is we are kind of have what's called the Temple Tech team. So not only looking for help on how we make this whole system work, including these brand new choir mics, I can't even say it, and that's what these are, so you're wondering, what in the world are these things? Those are the choir mics, and we actually have the choir singing up here. And making that all work is a Temple Tech team. So if you have ideas, want to maybe learn a new skill, contact me or Jordan Harris to join the Temple Tech team. But again, we have a lot of opportunities, and I mean a lot coming up, and we are approaching high holidays, so it's going to get really, really busy here in a bit. And again, a lot of the things are in person, of course, so we're generally getting back in person, but we do still have some things in Zoom, or a lot of things we offer in what's called multi-access. So like we're doing tonight, I think we have about 30 people watching on both YouTube and Facebook. And the other one that we just started offering this week, you don't have to be a Facebook user or even on YouTube. You can actually go to the Temple Beth El website, and under the live streaming web page, the video will be streaming on there as well. And that one actually is a really high quality, even higher quality than in the others. So moving on to tomorrow, we have it only is on Zoom, be the Torah study, that's at 9. And then, of course, the Torah service, co-led by the B Mitzvahs there, Maya Rogers and Kate and Michael. That will begin at 10 a.m. This will be on Zoom and in person. We will have to discuss, of course, we'll see what the air quality is, but if it is outdoors tomorrow, definitely dress appropriately, bring some water, and it'll be a good idea to probably wear a mask even if you are vaccinated to protect yourself from some of the particulate matter. Zoom Havdalah will be tomorrow at 7:30. This is something that started at the beginning of the pandemic and has continued every week. Kind of a diehard group doing that, and anybody is welcome, even if you haven't joined before, join this time. And I didn't mention any of these Zoom links. If you go to the Shabbat Shalom email, and that's sent out every Thursday, you'll find the links on there. Next Friday is actually the Sisterhood-sponsored Shabbat, the Women's Shabbat, and it'll be titled The Modern Eshet Hayil, Woman of Valor. So that'll be next Friday. And then on Sunday, August 22nd, is the annual Spiff Up Day. Those who aren't familiar with that, it's a day that we take care of some projects that need to be done in-house, whether it be interior work that needs to be done. You might be painting, you might be cleaning, or it could be outdoors. You could be staining seats, cleaning up the vegetation. But contact Janny Doctor, Lynn Spellman, if you're interested in helping with that. The nice thing is this year that generally tends to be very separate, kind of working alone, and a lot of the projects will be outdoors. So contact them. Again, that's Sunday, this 22nd. If you do have any questions about the current COVID protocols, we do have an individual web page on the Temple Beth El website that will always be updated with the current protocols. So for like tonight, we did have on there all the protocols that need to be followed since we had to move inside. As I said, the high holidays are quickly approaching. An important announcement was sent out to both members and non-members. Members was in mail and email. Non-members, those who are on our kind of email list, you were sent an email about the high holidays this year. If you did not receive this information, there is also a web page dedicated to the high holidays this year on our website. You can also call the temple office. Some of the most important things to remember is that everyone, including members, must register in order to attend, and that it is a fluid situation, with, of course, with COVID, like anybody else. And so please check that for any updates if we do have to make some changes. But right now we are planning to be in person and hope to be outdoors in order to invite everyone in the community there. But as we saw today, we could have smoky air, so we might have to make changes. As you saw when you came in, those who showed up, the Judaica shop is open before services on Friday, but they are also open between, let me check the time, 10:30 and noon on Fridays as well. But again, that's it. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome and thank you. Services will continue, at least Friday, at 6 o'clock all the way through August, probably even further than that as we hope for nice weather. And as always, if you're in need of help or are willing to help those in need, please contact clergy, leadership, or staff. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. In the midst of our Shabbat rest, take a moment also to think of those who need of healing of body, mind, and soul. If there's somebody of whom you're thinking who's in need of that healing, please feel free to share their names out loud in a moment. And also those at home, you can put it in the chat at the bottom.
I'm just thinking of the, I just read recently the 3,000 people a day that are being infected with the Delta virus, and just thinking of them. Join together on page 253. Page 253.
Of strength, oh, bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
About to move into the closing prayers of our service, beginning on page 282 with the Aleinu. Going to do page 287 to follow. Please rise as you're able.
Aleinu l'shapeach l'adon hakol, l'tekedu l'aleoseh breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please have a seat. Our thoughts now turn to those who are no longer with us. And as is custom in this community, we first go over the names of those in the Shlashim on Shiva, the 7 and 31st days of mourning after the death of a loved one. If there's anybody here who is in that period of time, please arise at this moment. Would you like to share the name of the person? Of course, the same goes for those at home. If you want to share the names of those in the chat, please feel free to do so. All them, we recite together. Hamakom yinachem etchem b'toch she'ah avalei Tzion Yerushalayim. May God console you with all who mourn in Zion and Jerusalem. Next we go over those who are marking a yard side, which is the anniversary of death of a loved one. And from our community, if there's anybody who's observing a yard side, please rise at this moment. From our community, remember the following on this Shabbat: Samuel Max Acker, Melvin Altman, Marilyn Aqua Umber, Henrienne Bender, Joseph Bobman, Irving Braverman, Elisa Cox, Mila Eisenhardt, Goldie Farber, Tim Finkelstein, Helen Abraham Fishman, Helen Florence, Roberta Frankel, Philip Friedman, Megan Gallman, Anna Goldberg, Robert Goldberg, Bud Goldman, Gerda Haas, Stanley Harris, Scott Jablone, Joy Cantor, Tatiana Chavina, Robert Kriegel, Louis Lamkin, Richard Lasko, Ella Latham, Leah Malik, Arthur Meyer, David Panitz, Timothy Pfeiffer, David Roderick, Benny Rome, Salman Sassoon, Joseph Schertzer, Mildred Spania, Dora Spiegel, Ron Steinberg, John Parkinson Trent, Sinclair Waymiller, and Jerome Ziaco. Is there anybody else whose name was not mentioned yet that you would like to add at this point? For all of them, we're about to recite the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Everybody, please rise as you're able. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirotei, ve'amlich malchotei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv, ve'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדה, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה, בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה, may their memory be a blessing. Please have a seat.
So we had our thanks, but again, thank you to everybody who helps in making all these services multi-access so that people at home who are up there, so hello all, can also participate and pray. And we've been doing this, for a year, maybe, or more. And we will continue because we want to invite all in. So we're going to conclude tonight with an Adon Olam. This is on page 321, after which we'll have our Kiddush and Motzi, which will be led by our B'nai Mitzvah. And I invite you to rise for Adon Olam on page 321. Adon Olam Asher Alach B'terem kol Yetzirah Le'it Nasa V'cheto kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'hu Yeh Ve'tifara Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'it Nasa V'cheto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'hu Yeh Ve'tifara Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'it Nasa V'cheto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'tifara Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'tifara Ve'hu Echad Ve'ein Sheni Lecham Shelo Lechachbira Ve'li Reshit Ve'li Tachlit Ve'lo Ha'oz Ve'hamizrach Ve'hu Eli Ve'chai Goali Ve'tzor Chevli Ve'tzara Ve'hu Nisi Umanos Li Menat Kosi Be'yom Ekra Be'yado Akid Rochi Ve'et Ishan Ve'ayira Ve'imrothi Geriati Adonai li Ve'lo ira Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'it Nasa V'cheto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'hu Yeh Ve'tifara Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'it Nasa V'cheto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'tifara Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'tifara Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'tifara Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'tifara.
All right. Okay, folks. So it's time to get on the Kiddush, and our B'nai Mitzvah going to be joining us up front for that on page 5, if you want to follow along in the book.
All right. Want to do it here?
And here you guys go.
There it is. We've been practicing this for a long time. All right. So join with us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'olam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvotav v'ra'at Adonai.
Now you can take off your mask for a second. You don't have to drink all of it. Although it looks like you're, well, it looks like you are, but there we go. And you did. There you go. And
Taste.
now we bless our challah with our b'nai mitzvah. Here, I got them. There you go. Whoop, up. It's okay. All right. We're going with them.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
B'te'avon. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Enjoy a restful Shabbos.
And feel free to grab a slice of challah.
Shabbat shalom. Good job.